How's it going, everybody? It is Damien G. and Najir back with another installment of our review of M.o.d.o.k. On Hulu. We are at episode 9. It's been quite the journey. What menace doth the mailman deliver? So in this episode, we get him talking to Melter at Melter's grave. What's
Catching up with his buddy one old good time.
Yeah, his BFF Melter seeking some life advice while he is insulting Melter's sobbing family, apparently throwing his son in an unmarked open grave to get to the tombstone first on their anniversary, mind you, just to let you know M.o.d.o.K's still not a good person. But he's getting signs from the universe because he asked Melter what should he do. Apparently there were people reading self-help books. There was a couple having sex in a graveyard in broad daylight. But the resounding theme was for M.o.d.o.K. to start from the beginning and start over, to turn over a new leaf, as it were. And he gets this bright idea to be the model employee to the point where Austin,
no one believes him. No one believes him.
Austin, Gary, Monica all think something's up, that there's some shenanigans happening, especially Monica, who turns into one of the most paranoid people in the show at this moment, where she spinal taps her own daughter, but we'll get to that. And then we get one bombshell that I didn't see coming out of left field. Our boy Gary is married, has a husband, which didn't know, and apparently bison burgers were a thing. So I've had bison meat. It's okay. It's a little gamey for me, but that's just my own little 2 cents on food. And apparently he's picking M.o.d.o.K. over his husband. So I thought that was a kind of weird. And then we find out later he has like a back tattoo, but that's neither here nor there. So this whole episode is basically because the Living Corporation wants to start the launch of destroying the planet, and apparently Labradoodles, for some odd reason, Austin's dog. And then we get this plan in motion, and it's kind of a race to either stop M.o.d.o.K., stop Austin, or stop the end of the world as we know it, because Austin wants to save his dog, Gary wants to kill Austin to save M.o.d.o.K's drive, and Monica wants to kill M.o.d.o.K. because she thinks he's going to kill her.
Yeah.
And as always, hilarity ensues. And this was one of those few episodes, I don't recall if there were any like this prior, where we don't have a view of M.o.d.o.K's family in the episode. This is a strictly AIM and M.o.d.o.K. episode where the inner workings of the office life turn a little bit more superhero-ish, or in this case, supervillain-ish, where you realize you are watching a Marvel story, because we're getting to that crescendo on episode 9 leading up to the finale, where the Living Corporation is basically going to enslave the human race with their version of Alexa. So that's pretty funny as the episode continues. So what were your thoughts, Najir, on this episode?
Yeah, a lot of things to cover there. Yeah, the smart hub speaker, and essentially everybody's going to have one of these in their house in a couple of months. But the board has plans to say we're pushing this up till this Wednesday, and they have eyes everywhere. And this definitely has made Austin paranoid to the point that he's even a little bit out of character here.
Right.
So you have that going on, and then we've got the most talkative the board has ever been in all these episodes. They're not such a mystique in this one. They got a little bit of personality. We know a little bit more about their plans. As you said, it follows suit of Galactus, to be honest. You know, they're coming into planets and taking all the resources and then leaving it to shambles and rolling out. I believe they call themselves
Hexes.
Hexes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not familiar with that, if that's even true, or if that is a real Marvel property. I think you mentioned before in a previous review that you felt like this was a created entity for this. But nonetheless, now that they revealed their name, I'm not familiar with it. So definitely in the comments, let us know if this is something that is been in the comics at some source. But M.o.d.o.K. is this new him, and it's like he can't win for losing, because even when he does good, even when he is the model employee, even when he is having the time of his life being the mailroom clerk, no one's buying it. So it's crazy that I didn't kind of see this coming, in the sense of like, we've seen him being a bad parent, a bad guy, and Meltzer is the one who makes him eventually gets a new grass in life. And so now he turns to good, and he realizes that, all the stuff was around him where he's been doing wrong. He's now come to terms with that, and now he's trying to make a change with it. And then at the same time, too, he outdukes everybody.
Yeah.
He essentially gets out of his contract that he loved, got out of his contract, made amends with Iron Man, even got Monaco on board in order to sell his shares to Iron Man, make Monica sell her shares to Iron Man, to now Iron Man is going to take aim into the future into being a good company and not a global takeover company. Meanwhile, Austin was fused with his dog.
Yes,
which was,
he fused with his dog.
which was a thing. But Monica is charismatic as she is. We've seen that she not only is a parent, but she is the parent because she
cloned herself as a male to inseminate her and make a dog who is still in the tube. The guy is literally still in the birthing tube.
Wants to kill him. He said he's definitely fine with being off right now. And yeah, and like you said, most paranoid. She done spinal tapped her, hit her with the PIM particles, and she's out here saying this is how you parent, and no one's ever going to agree to that.
She snorted her daughter after she became Ant-Man size.
Yeah.
Also, Hexus is a thing in the Marvel universe.
Okay.
It actually is an evil corporation that was from the planet. I'll tell you right now, it's from the sunken planet, apparently.
Yeah,
that's parasitic. It was a parasitic organism. Hexus is a material. Wow. So it exists.
Yeah, I did not know about that. So that's cool. I mean, and I definitely think it's safe to say that anything that was explored 9 episodes in is legitimately Marvel property. So they really did not create anything for the show. So they dug deep. And this is not something I was familiar with. But, I have to talk about my man Gary, who's one of my favorite characters. He's doing the jail workouts. He's getting ready for battle, and he's like, also I like that Dodge Dark pun that he made there.
Yeah.
So a little bit of old school reference there, even though the Dodge Darks came out recently, but no one cares about those because they were trash. But it's curious that Gary, who didn't quite wasn't in M.o.d.o.K.'s best interest in the beginning of the series, but he was still very fond of him.
Yes.
But we see that Gary truly cares about his man M.o.d.o.K., and he's going to go to war for him. And if that meant killing Austin, which he did, Final Destination style, him, in order to save M.o.d.o.K., then he would do so. And he went to the extreme to do it. And like you said, he chose his partner over M.o.d.o.K. So, and one other thing too, Monica, her battle orbs, very charismatic as well.
Because I think that's Seth Green voicing the battle orbs.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So, more like and I know, I'm gonna get blasted for this, but like more like a 3-headed dragon, like Madara, but like the cartoonish style, which we've seen in, I believe it was Robot Chicken, right? Where they had the 3 moderate. Yeah, of course it's Robot Chicken. And, all of them had really distinct personalities. You had the one that was really ambitious, the one that was just happy to be there, obviously, and the one that was just always playing devil's advocate to every single thing. And that's what we've seen from that. And that, I mean, obviously, we got one more episode. I don't think we're going to get more of it. But, God, if we could have got more of them throughout the series, that would have been entertaining. Because, even the small 30 to 1 minute that they had, it was some of the most entertaining parts of this episode.
I honestly liked the fact that we got to see the Hexus a lot more. The fact that they had 3 distinct, like you said, voices and opinions. I had to look up what Baja style was. I'm thinking, because they wanted to cook Austin's dog Baja style. Apparently, that's like a healthy way to eat food, whatever. But what I realized in this episode, also, there was a callback to the Gigolos. Because remember, the Gigolos were supposed to have their sex organs removed but they kept
Now,
reproducing like
yeah, now
cats.
they horny and they
And
don't know how to act right now.
they're apparently taking over trains now and like committing crimes and felonies in the city. So I wonder if we're gonna if we're gonna get to that where we find out what the hell the gigolos are doing. But as the episode continues, Gary fails to kill Austin once with the snake, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, toward the end of the episode, M.o.d.o.k. winds up selling his shares of AIM. M.o.d.o.k. convinces Monica by selling her shares, so now Iron Man is the controlling stake. And you're thinking, oh, we're gonna get a weird happy ending with, Iron Man taking over AIM, but en contraire, mon frere, Iron Man is taking over AIM 1. M.o.d.o.k. decides to launch alongside Monica AIM 2, and thusly to sabotage Wonder Man as well as Iron Man. He messes with the orb, the GRUMBL orb, the Alexa of GRUMBL, to basically drive all the animals of the world crazy. So during which is a pretty badass, very M. Night Shyamalan way to do it, where Iron Man activates this high-pitched squeal in the drone, and automatically the animals are going crazy. Wonder Man's being attacked, Iron Man's being attacked, and then what ends up happening is that in a Payless, an abandoned Payless, mind you, because remember Payless shoes was a thing. They're rebuilding AIM 2.0 because he is the what they say, the scientist supremer, while she's the scientist supreme. Okay, fine. But what they're doing is they're putting together office furniture on the weekend using what looks to be IKEA references, which I thought was really cool because I like IKEA. So basically, we're gonna be getting the season finale where we have Austin's dead, Gary's rectified with his husband. I have a feeling the Hexus is going to do something with M.o.d.o.K.'s family, and I just want to remind people: if you're thinking we're gonna get a swerve here where M.o.d.o.K. has a change of heart, remember, we're rooting for the villain here. We're rooting for the bad guy here. Do we really think M.o.d.o.K. is going to turn over a new leaf, even though at the beginning of the episode, he tried to do it for nefarious purposes? So a happy ending for M.o.d.o.K. may not be a happy ending for the world. So I'm anxious to see and interested to see what's going to happen in episode 10, how this all ties together.
Yeah, indeed. Well, folks, definitely jump in the comments. Let us know what you thought about episode 9 as we prepare for the finale and our review of episode 10. So once you're done and you have watched episode 10, jump over and check out that review, and we will see you over there. So thank you for watching, folks. See you in a second.
I